We're going to open the questions now to some of the other candidates who are here. I don't mean that every one of them has to answer it, and I'm not sure how we're going to manage this with the microphone. I think I may just move this forward for you. But one of the overriding questions that seemed to come in, find my place, wait a minute so I can see it. What goals should we move toward to retain as residents more of the young people who grow up here and keep them after high school or returning from college? And we have not only the select board and planning board, but we've also got recreation, zoning, budget committee. Do we have any of the candidates sitting in the front row who would like to respond to that? What should we be moving toward in Peterborough to try to retain young people? Anybody? Don't all jump at once.
There are people floating out of the back.
All right, I'll take this one as a qualified semi-young person for now. We just moved here. So, one thing I'd like to see, at least from a select board standpoint, regardless of which bill comes out on top in a week or so, is to actually address both sides of the issue. And I think it's great to say we're not going to spend another dime, and we're going to curtail local spending and get aggressive with fiscal conservatism from a budgetary standpoint, and that's all good. I think everybody in this room would agree with that. But I think you get to the point where we might be pushing a boulder up a mountain and then letting it roll down the other side and trying to do it again. So I think we have to address some of those state causal factors that were alluded to earlier. And to bring back to me, what's going to keep me here is not taxing me out of the house that I bought, while also maintaining the school system and the rec board and the great things in town that make this a really great place to raise kids. And I think that's why so many people stay here, and why more people would like to stay here if they could, and why people would want to move. And I think new people here is a good thing, but we need to make sure it's sustainable too.
All right, don't go away. There's a question for recreation. What recreation programs or facilities have you been directly involved with? I'm going to let you answer first, and then I'm going to get the other candidates to answer.
All right, so I'm going to lose on this question. I'm sorry, my name is Michael Strand. I'm running for Recreation Committee. Not a ton, to be honest with you. We are still pretty new in town. One thing I would like to see, we did the trout tournament. That was awesome. I have a 6-year-old little girl, so we didn't catch anything, but she got to cast a little bit. The other thing I've looked at, and unfortunately we haven't been able to take advantage of, is the swimming lessons program, because both myself and my other half work, and the swimming lessons are at like 11 a.m. and 1 in the afternoon, and that ain't an option. I work in Bedford, she works 50 minutes away. We don't have the luxury of taking time off in the middle of the day to do swimming lessons. So I think there's some tweaks to be had, but we also need to obviously be sensitive to not spending too much money. Using what's there and is working. I think it's an existing. It seems to be a pretty strong existing thing that the town has. So not reinvent the wheel, but look for minor improvements that aren't going to cost us a lot more money.
Thank you, Mr. Brescia.
The question was what facilities do you use?
What have you been involved with, directly involved with? Maybe you've used them, maybe you've helped develop them.
So my only role in recreation in this town has been making good use of the of Cunningham Pond. I like to spend time swimming in circles. I have used the tennis courts. I've obviously used the pickleball court. My children grew up here, so we were at Adams Playground and have seen it evolve over the years. I was a road racer, so I was involved in that too while we were growing up here. But I think that's about it.
And Ms. Furstenberg?
I haven't really used any of the recreational amenities that we have here, although I have to say I'm extremely impressed by their quality. The last time I saw a pool as nice as the one you have over there is when I was a really little kid, And my dad was playing golf at Congressional Country Club, and me and my little friend got to go in the pool. It is just world class how beautiful it is. And the only thing I've done to help is I helped with the Easter egg hunt this year. You know, making sure the kids all started on time and, you know, everybody found their eggs. But it was pouring rain, so it could have been a lot more fun if the sun had been shining. But that's about it.
And I have a question for the budget committee people. And that is, I love what the TIF districts have done. Sorry, I don't know that phrase, but you people do, so here we go. But how do you think the TIF districts impact our overall tax burden? More money for TIF districts means less money for other town needs? Question mark, question mark. So could we have the budget committee people, Mr. Long, Ms. Sliver, Mr. Herring-Smith, and then we'll get to Mr. Clark. Would you like to come up and answer that?
As far as the TIF districts are concerned, it's not something that you can really answer in a 2-minute time frame. We do have several TIF districts in the town, and it isn't anything that that really has come up in the most recent budget process. I personally have more questions about how the TIF districts are set up, and I don't feel that all of them are really being utilized, and I feel that the ones that are set up possibly are negatively impacting our the amount of money that we can use for taxation. But I'm going to admit that that's one of the topics that I hope to tackle in my next 3 years of budget committee if I am reelected, because I do feel that it's an issue that we need to look more into.
Mr. Herring-Smith?
Hi, I've been reading about the TIF districts recently because some of the money from those is being put to use. And I have to say, it seemed like something magical, a pot of money that can be drawn on to make improvements, at least in specific areas of town. And I guess I have the same problem as my fellow candidate. I'm not sure what the impact is elsewhere. I don't know exactly how they work. They seem nice for the areas of town where they exist, but I'm not sure what the impact is, and I'm sure we'll find out if I serve on the budget. Thanks.
And Mr. Long?
To be quite honest, I'm very vaguely familiar with what the TIF districts are all about. I do think that a few years back, the TIF districts in West Peterborough did help develop that area somewhat, but to the detriment of other areas, I really don't know. I do think that West Peterborough, over the years, has improved significantly from when I first moved here 23 years ago, and I think that was a direct result of all the TIF taxes that we're able to put back into that area. So I'd love to learn more about it, but you know, that's my experience with it so far. Thank you.
And Mr. Clark?
Well, the TIF districts are, like they say, a pot of money. West Peterborough benefited greatly with them, and there was extra money there, and now it's a double-edged sword, because now they passed a rule in the state that says we can use TIF money to maintain the things that were in West Peterborough. So basically, the highway department is using it in part of their budget revenue for maintaining. So it's like taking money out of one pocket and putting it in another. It's not really doing any good. I think we should just pay for the infrastructure. They do help because West Peterborough at the time was like a neglected child. You know, they didn't get anything. Everything happened downtown. And even downtown started to get neglected when things started moving out during the 70s and 80s. And the TIF districts did help. It brought the money back in. I think there should be a better way of doing it, but right now, the state lets us do it. So, by the state law, it's a good way to do it, but I don't agree with it.
So obviously, as an outsider, I don't understand this. It sounds like a topic, though, for further exploration and discussion in the town. So I think we're going to leave it at that, with everybody giving a very, very short answer as the very final thing. I mean very short. I mean it. I mean it. Name what you think is the most positive thing about Peterborough. Ms. Furstenberg.
The diner.
I do too.
Friendly people.
People, wonderful. Mr. Taylor.
Definitely community. It's a quick story when I went to college.
Stories, thank you.
Okay, community.
Share it later. Yes. Mr. Kennedy.
I think the greatest thing about this town is the way that we govern this town, the voters run this town, and I want to encourage everyone to participate.
The power of the voters, and let's go down this road. Just shout it out, and I'll try to repeat it for everybody. Mr. Brescia?
Honestly, the way this town treats my son.
The way the town treats your son. That sounds wonderful. I don't know the story, but that sounds like a wonderful thing to say. Ms. Monahan?
The compassion and the connection everyone has.
Compassion and connection that people have. Mr. Strand?
Safe for kids, don't interrupt the word.
Safe place for kids. That's wonderful.
Again, the incredible people in town.
The incredible people in town.
I'm going to echo that. Incredible people in town.
Another one. And I can see it tonight. I can see it being here. Next.
Incredible community involvement.
Thank you. And Mr. Long?
I just love our incredible downtown area. The shops, the restaurants, the people that run them.
Don't jump at once.
Yeah, better have people flooding out of the back.
All right, I'll take this one as a qualified semi-young person for now, who just moved here. So, one thing I'd like to see, at least from a select board standpoint, regardless of which bill comes out on top in a week or so, is to actually address both sides of the issue. And I think it's great to say we're not going to spend another dime, and we're going to curtail local spending and get aggressive with fiscal conservatism from a budgetary standpoint, and that's all good. I think everybody in this room would agree with that, but I think you hit a point where we might be pushing a boulder up a mountain and then let it roll down the other side and trying to do it again. So I think we have to address some of those state causal factors that were alluded to earlier, and to bring back to me, what's going to keep me here is not taxing me out of the house level, while also maintaining the school system and the rec board and the great things in town that make this a really great place to raise kids. And I think that's why so many people stay here, and why more people would like to stay here if they could, and why people do want to move it. And I think new people here is a good thing, but we need to make sure it's sustainable too.
All right, don't go away. Don't go away. There's a question for recreation. What recreation programs or facilities have you been directly involved with? I'm going to let you answer first, and then I'm going to get the other candidates.
All right, so I'm going to lose on this question a little bit. I'm sorry, my name is Michael Strand. I'm running for Recreational Committee. Recreation Committee. Not a ton, to be honest with you. We are still pretty new in town. One thing I would like to see, we did the trout tournament. That was awesome. I have a 6-year-old little girl, so we didn't catch anything, but she got to cast a little bit. The other thing I've looked at, and unfortunately we haven't been able to take advantage of, is the swimming lessons program, because both myself and my other half work, and the swimming lessons are at like 11 a.m. and 1 in the afternoon. And that ain't an option. I work in Bedford, she works 50 minutes away. We don't have the luxury of taking time off in the middle of the day to do swimming lessons. So, I think there's some things to be had, but we also need to obviously be sensitive to, not spending too much money, using what's there and is working. I think it's an existing, it seems to be a pretty strong existing, thing that the town has. So not reinvent the wheel, but, look for minor improvements that aren't going to cost us a lot more money.
Thank you. Mr. Gresham?
The question was what facilities we could use?
What have you been involved with, directly involved with? Maybe you've used them, maybe you've helped develop them?
So my only role in recreation in this town has been making good use of the of Cunningham Pond. I like to spend time swimming in circles. I have used the tennis courts. I've obviously used the pickleball court. My children grew up here, so we were at Adams Playground and have seen it evolve over the years. I was a road racer, so I was involved in that too while we were growing up here. But I think that's about it.
And Ms. Furstenberg?
I haven't really used any of the recreational amenities that we have here, although I have to say I'm extremely impressed by their quality. The last time I saw a pool as nice as the one you have over there is when I was a really little kid and my dad was playing golf at Congressional Country Club and me and my little friend got to go in the pool. It is just world class how beautiful it is. And the only thing I've done to help is I helped with the Easter egg hunt this year, making sure the kids all started on time and, everybody found their eggs, but it was pouring rain, so it could have been a lot more fun if the sun had been shining. But that's about it.
And I have a question for the Budget Committee people. And that is, I love what the TIF districts have done. Sorry, I don't know that phrase, but you people do, so here we go. But how do you think the TIF districts impact our overall tax burden? More money for TIF districts means less money for other town needs? Question mark, question mark. So could we have the Budget Committee people, Mr. Long, Ms. Sliver, Mr. Herring-Smith, and then we'll get to Mr. Clark. Would you like to come up and answer that?
As far as the TIF districts are concerned, it's not something that you can really answer in a 2-minute time frame. We do have several TIF districts in the town, and it isn't anything that that really has come up in the most recent budget process. I personally have more questions about how the TIF districts are set up, and I don't feel that all of them are really being utilized, and I feel that the ones that are set up possibly are negatively impacting the amount of money that we can be used for taxation, but I'm going to admit that that's one of the topics that I hope to tackle in my next 3 years of Budget Committee if I am reelected, because I do feel that it's an issue that we need to look more into.
And Mr. Herring-Smith?
Hi, I've been reading about the TIF districts recently because some of the money from those is being put to use. And I have to say, it seemed like something magical, a pot of money that can be drawn on to make improvements, at least in specific areas of town. And I guess I have the same problem as my fellow candidate. I'm not sure what the impact is elsewhere. I don't know exactly how they work. They seem nice for the areas of town where they exist, but I'm not sure what the impact is, and I'm sure we'll find out if I serve on the Budget Committee. Thanks.
And Mr. Long?
To be quite honest, I'm very vaguely familiar with what the TIF districts are all about. I do think that a few years back, the TIF districts in West Peterborough did help develop that area somewhat, but to the detriment of other areas, I really don't know. I do think that West Peterborough, over the years, has improved significantly from when I first moved here 23 years ago. And I think that was a direct result of all the TIF taxes that we're able to put back into that area. So I'd love to learn more about it, but that's my experience with it so far. Thank you.
And Mr. Clark?
Well,
the TIF districts are, like they say, a pot of money. West Peterborough benefited greatly with them, and there was extra money there, and now it's a double-edged sword, because now they passed a rule in the state that says we can use TIF money to maintain the things that were in West Peterborough. So basically, the highway department is using it as part of their budget revenue for maintaining. So it's like taking money out of one pocket, putting it in another. It's not really doing any good. I think we should just pay for the infrastructure. They do help because West Peterborough at the time was like a neglected child. You know, they didn't get anything. Everything happened downtown. And even downtown started to get neglected when things started moving out during the 70s and 80s. And the TIF did help. It brought the money back in. I think there should be a better way of doing it, but right now the state lets us do it. So by the state law, it's a good way to do it, but I don't agree with that.
So obviously, as an outsider, I don't understand this. It sounds like a topic, though, for further exploration and discussion in the town. So I think we're going to leave it at that, with everybody giving a very, very short answer as the very final thing. I mean very short. I mean it. I mean it. Name what you think is the most positive thing about Peterborough. Ms. Furstenberg.
It's a diner. I love it.
I do too. Mr. Clark.
Friendly people.
People, wonderful. Mr. Taylor.
Definitely community. It's a quick story when I went to college.
Stories, thank you.
Okay,
share it later. Yeah. Mr. Kennedy.
I think the greatest thing about this town is the way that we govern this town, the voters run this town. And I want to encourage everyone to participate.
How are the voters? And let's go down this road. Just shout it out and I'll try to repeat it for everybody. Mr. Brescia?
Honestly, the way this town treats my son.
The way the town treats your son. That sounds wonderful. I don't know the story, but that sounds like a wonderful thing to say. Ms. Monahan?
The compassion and the connection everyone has.
Compassion and connection that people have. Mr. Strand?
Safe for kids, you don't ever have to worry.
Safe place for kids. That's wonderful.
Again, the incredible people in town.
The incredible people in town.
I'm going to echo that.
Another one. I can see it tonight. I can see it being here. Next.
Incredible community involvement.
Thank you. Mr. Long?
I just love our incredible downtown area. The shops, the restaurants, the people that run them.
I think those are wonderful answers to end on. At this point, I lift my ban on applause so that we can thank all of you. Voting is a week from tomorrow, 7 to 7 at the community center, and then the town meeting at 7 o'clock on Wednesday, the 15th, at the townhouse. Thank you. I didn't use the word.
A very special applause for Liz.
To come here and do this with you people. Please enjoy coffee and refreshments in the back.
Crop tape.